Hello world! Welcome to the picoCTF 2022 write-up series. As you know, the picoCTF 2022 competition just ended, and we're here to provide some of the write-ups for some of the challenges. To kick this series off, we're going to start off with the basic file exploit challenge. This challenge is from the binary exploitation category and is worth 100 points. Let's get into it. The program provided allows you to write to a file and read what you wrote from it. Try playing around with it and see if you can break it. Connect to the program with Netcat. And they give us the Netcat portal right here, so let's go ahead and do that. Let's go ahead and connect to it. And then the program source code with the flag redacted can be downloaded here. Okay, cool. So let's go ahead and just see what we're dealing with. Let's see. Enter 1 to enter a phrase into our database, type 2 to echo a phrase in our database, and 3 to exit the program. Okay, so let's try doing 1. Let's enter some data in. Let's try test. Enter the length of the data. Let's just say 4. Write successful. Would you like to do anything else? Yes, let's print our data, huh? So our entry number is 1, and it prints out test, just like it says. Okay, so let's try doing the same thing again, but this time for the length, let's do 2. Okay, so now our entry number is 2. So if we type in 2 and then 2 again, we get TE, right? Because the buffer length that we provided was only 2, so it's only going to print the first 2 characters of our input. Okay, so let's just go ahead and say 3 quit. All right. And so now let's go take a look at the source code. I've already downloaded it for our convenience. So let's go ahead and take a look at that. I'll open it up in code. Okay, so right off the bat, we can see this flag equals redacted here, which means that's probably what's holding the flag on the server side, which we can't see right now. If we scroll down, we'll find a main function. Looking at the main function, we can see that here's our menu, right? Where we're supposed to put an input. Here's where it's grabbing our input. And then it's saying, if our input cannot be converted to a long, then say, please put in a valid number. Okay, so we can actually test that out. If we put an A, yeah, it'll say, please put in a valid number, because you can't convert an A to a long, right? You can convert a character to an int, but you can't convert a string or a character to a long. So when it says equal to 0, that means that it was a character mismatch. str2l returns 0 if it cannot convert your input to or whatever variable you put in there to a long integer. Then these other else if conditions are just the menu options, right? Like if the input is 1, if the input is 2, if the input is 3. And then else, if it's a number that's not 1, 2, or 3, then it'll say, hey, please, you have to type in a 1, 2, or 3, and then maybe breaking boundaries elsewhere will be helpful. So this first menu spot is probably not where we need to inject, or exploit, rather, and it looks like there's a timeout feature as well. Cool. So let's go ahead, and if we look at command 1, we see data write. Okay, so that's writing to the database probably. And then data read is reading from the database. So that's what's getting printed out to our screen. So let's go ahead and check out data write. See if there's anything interesting here. Okay, so there's the input buffer. Length buffer. Okay. So another str2l function here, right? So if it can't convert the input to a long integer, then it'll say, please put in a valid length. Okay, so if you put anything other than, a number in, essentially for the length, it'll give you another error message like we saw in the main function. Because this is essentially the same condition that was used in the main function. If we come down to data read, we'll see the output buffer here, which is going to store, our input that we put earlier, depending on the entry number that we give it, which is represented right here. And if we notice right here, it says if our entry number cannot be converted to a long, it'll print the flag. So what you're telling me is if we just put an A for the entry number, because an A can't be converted to a long, or any kind of string really, then it'll just print out our flag. Okay, so why don't we try that then? So let's say 1, and we'll do our test again, and I don't think this part matters, but we'll just put 4 anyways. So now we want to print out, right, our data. We want to do the data read on our entry, but not our entry, right? We want to bypass this if condition, and to do that, we can just simply put in an A. And there we go. It gave us our flag. And that wraps it up for this video. If you enjoyed the video, drop a like and subscribe to the channel to show your support. Turn on post notifications to get regular injections of cyber content directly into your feed. Check out our Patreon, join our Discord, and follow us on Twitter. Links in the description box down below. And leave any feedback or questions in the comment section down below. This is Almond Milk. Thanks for watching. Goodbye, world.